So, welcome to Sign Language Worship Workshop, and we're going to learn today a song, the whole song. It's not a long song.
Exciting.
It's easy. I Love You, Lord, is what we're going to be learning.
Should we stand up?
And so in just a minute, but I'm going to explain a few things about sign language first. So what I use in my worship and what I teach is based on ASL, which is American Sign Language. And so a lot of it's really good to learn the alphabet because a lot of the signs are based on the alphabets. So it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I,
She added my favorite part, the J.
K, L,
M,
N, O, P, and
I forgot
Q is like a G but upside down. Q, R, S, with your thumb in front. Yeah, an A is like this, and an S is with your thumb in front. S, T is like this. U, V, W, X.
Oh, that was hard. I can't do that. My pinky doesn't want to do it.
And Z. You just draw out a Z.
What was W, X? X
W,
was.
X.
Oh, we used 3.
So like a
hook.
like the pirate.
Or a baby wave.
X,
Yep, X,
Y.
Y.
Oh, that hurts my pinky.
Well, don't feel like you have to stretch it. Just
No.
So a lot of the signs are based on the alphabet, so it's good to learn the alphabet. And so
You had a cool mom.
yeah, I was talking about, I was seeing something in the video and it looked like it was in front of me, but it's not. It's the bag over to the side. So yeah, I was saying my mom taught early childhood special ed, and so she took a college course to learn sign language, and I think I actually went to the course with her a couple of times. I think it was at night. But then she had this big book with all the sign language words, like a dictionary, and you look up, I want to know how to sign tree. You look up in the book, but now it's easier because you can just Google how do I sign tree, which I think this is tree.
Where are you from?
I grew up in New Mexico,
Okay.
around Las Cruces area,
Okay. And where do you live now?
and now I live in Stephenville, Texas.
Okay, so you're with the
With the Warrior Women.
Warrior Women. Okay.
And what else was I saying? So I was trying to remember the things I was going to teach you about sign language. Some of the things that are just like when you're talking about somebody or about yourself, like this is me and you. And so when we're talking to God, we just point to God. If you're talking about ownership, like mine or yours, it's with your full hand. So this is mine, my, your, your, my name, your name, God's, like that. So that's one thing. And so sign language worship, using it in worship is different than just doing sign language, because like people who just sign to have a conversation, like they keep everything like in this little box right here. But where I use it for expressing, like I talked about in the class earlier today, I'm wanting to express what's inside to God. And so it's more like a dance. And one of the things I learned in dance is that you want to make your movements big, even bigger, exaggerated than you would, just normally. And so that's what I do with the worship. And so I take liberties as well with you know, the signs that I do are based on ASL. Sometimes I'll do something a little bit different if it feels better for me. And sometimes if I'm doing a song and I don't remember the sign, or like realize, oh, I have never learned that sign, I'll make something up. So we're worshiping, so there's no like
no,
rules,
like,
you
hard
have to
and
do
fast.
this, like, you know. So let it be worship, you know, but there is also an element of learning the skills, you know, like if you were gonna play an instrument and you're gonna play guitar, and it's like, oh, I wanna play guitar with the worship band. Well, they're gonna expect you to know how to play certain chords and, you know, the rhythm and things like that. So there is some time of learning some skills, but then once you learn those skills, then you're free to kind of go with the flow. So I found that true in like a lot of different areas with art and music and this kind of stuff, that you need to learn some basic fundamentals, some skills, and then once you do that, then you can like more easily flow with the Spirit. So it's just like learning vocabulary. You know, when you are little and you don't know very many words, it's not that easy to, you know, like, if the Spirit's giving you something but you don't have the words to say what that means, you know, it's hard for you to express that. So we're kind of like, you know, learning vocabulary.
I was just gonna ask, do you have any specific YouTubers or anything that you follow that do sign language worship that can help teach?
Yes, so there's one that's called Sign Language Worship. So
Easy.
I was like, she was very smart. And she actually teaches full songs of worship, worship songs, so she's very good. And there were some others I can't remember right off, but I have those in my resources.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I always love to hear or see who other people follow, because then I feel more confident. There's so many people out there, but I feel more confident that what they're teaching is solid and
Right, yeah. And then, let's see, what else? Okay, let's just get into I might
Let's
think of
do
other
it.
things as we go along, but,
Okay.
let's do it. So let's learn I love you, Lord. So it starts out, I love you, Lord. So you can just point to me. What you may see me doing is, because this is how I learned, like if you're doing sign language, you use the letter I and you put it right here.
Can you
So
do
this
this
means
too?
I. So that would be my. So you can
Say
either
my
just
love.
point
That's
to
just
you
right
or
here.
just do I. And then love is just, you cross your arms, and this is where like I add, you know, for the worship, the effect, you know, just like you're hugging somebody and just you really love, and you can show that in your face as well. So I love you, because we're talking about God, so I love you, Lord, and I'll use an L, which is like this, and go from, so the other thing that I forgot all ago that I was gonna say is, in sign language, you use dominant hand and non-dominant hand. So is everybody here right-handed? Yeah, so
I'm left.
you're left, so
Thank you,
you'll,
Cal.
so you'll use, where I'm using my right, you'll use your left. So
Yeah.
it's actually kind of easier for you to
Follow you.
follow me, looking at me, because you'll just mirror me. Where is your,
Yay for the
you know,
tiny things, right?
so, so the dominant hand is what you do the alphabet with, you know, and a lot of the signs are, you do one thing with the dominant hand and something else with the non-dominant hand. So if I'm saying, you know, with your right hand and you're left-handed, you'll do the opposite. Unless it's easier for you to do it that other way, so. Yeah. So with Lord, you'll go from your left shoulder, so you're starting across your body and then making that sash down to your right hip. And if y'all want to stand up, sometimes it's easier to do it when you're standing. So we've got I love you, Lord.
I told you I like my brain doesn't function with my hands.
Quit saying stuff.
So I love you, Lord, I love you, Lord.
Good.
Trying to think the lyrics. I love you, Lord, I love you, Lord. And I lift my voice. So for lift, we're just gonna, like you'd lift something up. So I lift.
Lift with your knees, people. Just
Yeah.
That's not your knees.
And with worship, a lot of times I don't include all of the words. I don't do a sign to all of the words, especially
Thank
the
goodness.
faster ones.
Right.
I'll do the main words, and even in people who, are speaking to each other in sign language, they don't do some of the words that we say, like, I will be, they'll just say I will, or, leave out some of those. So,
Do you close your eyes when you do it, or do you open them?
sometimes I close my eyes, sometimes I open them. Both.
I'm just curious.
Yeah. So I lift my voice, so I lift, and if you want to sign my, it's just like this, my, and the one we were listening to a minute ago, it was very slow, so we would have time to do that. My voice, and you're gonna use a V, and it's like your voice coming out, so, and since we're lifting it, we can, do it like it's lifting up to God. Yeah. So, I lift my voice. Where did I lift my voice?
To worship you.
To worship. To worship. So for worship, you're gonna do.
There she is.
Hi.
There you are.
Wandering around.
That's what I was like. I'm wondering if some people don't know where this classroom
We
is.
were training in the faith that there was gonna be two on each side.
Was just in this room and then went to eat and then came back and I'm like, I don't know where.
I couldn't find
Yeah.
it either, so don't feel like you're the only one. We just started, by the way, so you're good.
Yeah. So let's do all we've done so far.
Okay.
So I
You can do it, yeah.
love you, and then Lord. And what I'll do is with my left hand, a lot of times I'll have it like raised up while I'm doing
How about
this.
No? Okay.
Not that.
Okay.
Just
Not that.
straight up. Lord, I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice. So I lift my voice, and since we're lifting it up to Him, we can, do it like that. To worship. So worship is you have.
That's a weird one for worship, I thought.
That's.
Because, worship to me is so outward.
Yeah.
So it's weird that it's like
So
that.
it's like that, and you're kind of pulling it into you.
Okay.
So, and since this song there's 2 beats to it, we're gonna say, and worship you. And then it goes, what? Oh my soul. So O, we can just do a O, and then my. And soul, in sign language, soul and spirit are the same thing,
It's the truth.
which I think is weird. So, and I've seen people do it several different ways, but the way I first learned it, so that's how I do it most, is your non-dominant hand, you're gonna just cup it like a C and have it placed on your heart right here. And then with your dominant hand, you're gonna have your fingers like this, and it's like you're pulling something out. So it's like, what's inside of you, and you can spiral it out like this and make it pretty, or just, do like this. So that's where you can add, in we're singing and the worship, you can add, dramatic effects that is different than, somebody just conversing, because they're gonna be just doing it quickly, but, we're wanting to do it and make it pretty, and just, so, I love you, Lord, I lift my voice to worship you. Oh, my soul, rejoice. So again, oh, my soul, and then rejoice. Do you want are doing really good. So they're, I was gonna say, we can do it super easy, or we can do it, you know, a next
Give us
step.
the two options.
So, joy is like this, you know, like, cause like you're laughing, you
I
know,
like that. That's
laughing, you just kind of do that. So and rejoice, you can do it the same way, but in songs where it has the same or a very similar word repeated, I'll try to do a little bit different version of that sign for each one, just because it makes it more interesting. So let's do for rejoice. You have your J is like this, where you have your little fingers. So we're gonna do 2 of them kind of like this. Oh, is that it? Yeah, that's right. And you're just kind of doing, you're doing joy again and again. So rejoice is, you know, to rejoice again. So we're just kind of like writing a Bible. So, oh my soul, rejoice. And then take joy. I'm just gonna say joy, my king. So king is same as Lord, but we're gonna use a K. So a K is like a V, but your thumb goes in between your fingers. So king. So my soul rejoice. In what you hear. In is just your
In a cup.
non-dominant hand makes the little cup, and your dominant hand goes just in. Oh, my soul. In. Okay, and what you hear. I'm having trouble speaking and remembering that. So in, and we don't necessarily have to sign what, but in what you hear, and you're just gonna cup your ear like you're trying to hear somebody, you know, and all maybe lean out. And then in what you hear, let it be a sweet, may it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. So may is just like this, so it's kind of like, you know, maybe, but may it be a sweet. And sweet is you're gonna take your middle fingers and just kind of, it's like you're kind of tasting something and it's good. So it's just kind of sweet, sweet, sweet. And then for sound, we're gonna touch our ears and then what comes out. So it's ears and then, you know, going out. So let it be a sweet, sweet sound. And when you're signing, a lot of people would probably just do it with one hand, but for the worship, I think it looks really pretty to do, to go ahead and do both
And Jennifer
hands.
likes that, so.
Okay, let it be a sweet, sweet sound.
That's it.
In your ear, and you just point to your ear. Okay,
We got
I
it.
think that's it.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Are y'all ready? We're ready to get up there. It's hard to like exaggerate though when you're up there, cause then you feel, it's like, everybody's watching.
But when you think about that, where everybody's watching, what if you're watching somebody, what could you rather see? Do you wanna be them doing signs where you can barely
Little or
see what
big,
they're doing?
right.
Or do you want to,
It's,
you know, is that gonna be a bigger blessing to you if they make it big or, and,
Yeah.
you know?
it's so different
And
from singing.
this is from watching, you're watching you worship God.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
That's, because at that point you're worshiping God, it's not you necessarily.
Yes.
Singing for an audience of one.
Yes.